Here's part 5 of what I learned from John Frusciante. I'm going to continue with rhythm like in part 4, but this time I'm going to use examples from the Mars side of Stadium Arcadium. So the first one I'm going to start with is 21st Century. Here he's using triads, so he'd be using his D minor. If you think of your D minor bar chord shape, maybe like that, or you know, you can play it like that. And that's a good way to do it because you're going to be muting. You know, you could also, actually no, that makes the most sense. Like that. Then you would have B6, which would be, the string set is D, G, and B. So 8th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, that'd be a, see that? Group, 3rd, 6. Then F, just a inversion from the 3rd here, 7, 5, 6. Then back to this, which would be, but again, this is kind of implying the harmony because what it actually is from G. So now G minor, and John does that a lot too because flute would be rocking the root note. So you're getting this. Sometimes you'll add the 4. All you got to do is just go use your ring finger to bar the bottom 2 strings, and then you have the 4 in that chord. So you're getting this. Second time, he'll play the higher inversion of that from the 5th. So if you have this, which would be here, minor 3rd, your 5th, your root, just play like that. Looks like a D minor if you think of it, you know, that way. Now for rhythm, so those are the chords. Now for rhythm, he has this. Again, 16th note has like a 1, 2, 4, 1. So I always like to work out my rhythms that way. I find it really helps just getting the groove with the right hand. Again, he'll kind of play with that a little bit, but if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, you get this. So you get that back. Oops. Here. There. Right before the chorus, he'll kind of switch it up a little bit where he has this. Very cool, so just adding a 9. 8th fret, 7th fret, and then pinky on the 10th fret there. So getting this Okay, so if you're working that out, a couple ways I would recommend practicing it if you're just getting those chords. I'll show you a couple ways. So like when I'm working on it, usually, like I said, I'll do the left hand, but also do the right hand. So this song's like 117, I believe. Yeah, so it's like, if here's 100, I'll usually just go like this first and kind of get these chords. So I get 1, 2, 3. Let's do like chord notes or whole notes. that sort of feel there. That sort of gives you enough to. I just want to give you a couple ideas of how I recommend practicing those you know, those things. So that works, you know, for me. A lot of my students it works for. So yeah. And then on top of that, sort of halfway through that first verse, he'll do inversions or different versions of these chords. So if he has D minor here, he'll be playing the D minor up here. So 14th, 15th. Everybody kind of knows this shape of D minor. It would just be brought up 12 frets. And then B6 right here, or B flat 6, sorry. Yeah. So in this F here, 13. So from the third. G minor. So in this, she'll switch it a little bit too, which is kind of cool. Every other one is the same, so it's like. And I guess I should talk a little bit about that muting too. If now, when all your fingers are kind of used up like that, I'm being pretty accurate through all this with my pick, but the top finger should be sort of brushing or hitting, any part of the flesh should be hitting that D string, so you're not getting, you know what I mean, you're getting this, when I do that, I just, you know, I've worked at this, but it will start to become natural when your fingers just do the muting for you, so. Here I have this third finger, so any chord that I'm going to, there's always some part of, you know, my flesh that of my fingers that might not be used, or if I have it like that, that is hitting the string so that it mutes it out. And that's a big part of this funk style. I think it's a big part of rock guitar style, so you can just be free with the right hand. You know, when you go to a concert, it's the same thing. You see guys being very accurate. You know, it's rock and roll. You know, so a lot of that is due to the left hand muting. So really spend some time with that. I'm always working at that, and it's really what makes a lot of the playing funky. You know, so yeah. Let me see. If I have that, oh, and then before the chorus, you know, okay, I'll add that 9. He has that 9 of the G sharp. Now I have this already on a loop. This is right to tempo, but you can kind of hear how these parts sound together. So 117 BPM here. Pretty cool. I'll also show you the chorus because these chords are kind of cool. So like, he'll just go to his full bar chord of his D minor, and then he'll, and this is a shape he uses a few times. He uses, Dan California uses it in the bridge. There's a few times he uses it, which would be basically like the B flat major. He's just playing it from the third of that, which would be your D. So you get this slash chord. Really cool voicing. F. You know, sort of out of your cage system. If you thought of your C shape, you move that up. First finger acts as a bar. You have that. Or if you learned under the bridge, it's like that, just moved up 1.5 steps. So you're having D, F, then C from the inversion. So if you have C here, you have that, so you're getting this there's a lot of chickas in there too. So if you have that with your right hand. And that's your chorus. That's what I said. Like a lot of the times I'll just listen to music. I might even just listen to a drummer, and I'll just try to, you know, comp that rhythm with chickas. It's so good for your feel, you know, to be able to do that. Just think rhythmically. It's so important, you know. All the lead stuff is, to us guitar players, what seems to be the most impressive, but 90% of guitar is just rhythm, and that's really at the end of the day what's going to get you the gig. You know, is if you could just, you know, play, you know, be in time and be cool with just even just doing rhythmic stabs. Some of this stuff might be a little challenging. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where everybody's at. I always recommend for my students who are getting into funk, you know, learn some James Brown. You know, because some of that stuff, it's just so in the pocket. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag is great because it's just sort of rhythm stabs on beats 2 and 4, so it really gets you used to you know, playing that staccato feel. It would be like an E flat 9. It's just a 1 4 5 funk, you know. It's just basically 1 3. So all the pieces are there as the 16th note pattern, and it really gets you used to just trying to make that staccato as possible. So, like, yeah, if you get into funk, get into funk rhythm, always listen to the masters. You know, James Brown is great. Ike Turner's a great rhythm player. Sly and the Family Stone, Prince is playing is amazing. If you listen to his rhythm guitar playing and his bass, he'll just, like, it's what I was talking about. If you have that 16th note, he'll always kind of find that place where there's nothing and then make that part pop out. Instead of, you know, so that everything in the band, the bass, the drums, everything kind of has their place, you know. So that's a big thing when you're thinking of funk, you know, is just trying to, if you're jamming with guys, I always try to find that, where's that, if you're playing funky, where is that hole that nobody has put a note in, you know what I mean? And, you know, that you'll be the funkiest guy in the room, you know. Okay, next up I'd like to talk about Storm in a Teacup. Now, this one, it's straight 16th, it's very funky. So much left-hand muting going on here. This is very, you know, it's a lot like Hendrix's style, I find, with the thumb over top. It's in, you know, G minor is kind of the chord he's basing it on. So if you have this up here, it's all about these octaves. So you want to be able to put your thumb over top in a way so that you can mute out the A string. Sometimes I'm doing that a little bit with my ring finger too. So I can kind of hit that and just get the octaves, you know, that sort of thing. So you're getting this. Now the notes he's bouncing off of is root minor 7, so it's sort of the minor sound. Sometimes he'll add D minor 3rd. Then he has this, which is just and that slightly band-like chord. Second number 2 for coolness, you know. So you get this. Now it takes a bit to get. So, you know, if you're just getting the left hand muting, just start with this, you know. I actually think this would be better on the bass pickup. Choppy too, where it's, you know, some of those are a little bit staccato, but Now I'm not going to take the time to explain every variation, it's just that sort of concept, you know. You could play on any sort of minor chord that way. I do it all the time too, you know. You hear, even Hendrix, you hear those, and then everything is just sort of, you know, with the muting and minor pentatonic sort of phrases in that. So this is just, I would just recommend getting that. There, I'm just. This right hand, just doing that. So try to feel those chord notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you kind of get that idea there as well, right? Root, minor 7, they work so well, you know. I think of my right hand as like it's the engine, you know, so it keeps the whole thing going from there. You know, you could, so once you kind of get that technique, it's very, you know, it gets a lot easier to improvise within that, especially, you know, it's really only like 3 notes there, you know. And I think that's the greatest thing about funk is it's really not about the amount of notes, it's about the groove of that and about the rhythm. So really spend some time on it. Like I said, listen to the masters, you know, really get that under your fingers, feel it in your bones, you know, even when you're just walking down the street, you know, try to hear a rhythm and where you would put your notes on that 16th note grid. Now, one other thing that he does in this, I'm just going to show you one other part, which is just take the minor triad from G, just like Charlie. And this is a good one because it's very straight 16th. So it's a good one to kind of get that worked out, just that right hand. And there's no accents. So it's just like back half a step. I would set a metronome there too. I might have added a couple accents, so it's good to kind of practice without those too. You can just get it very straight. So if this is like 92, this song's like 103, I think. So like 1. Ooh, my speaker died. So let's go on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3. The last song I would like to talk about is Turn It Again. Now, this is a real sort of rhythm masterclass in all of the techniques that we've discussed so far, really. So he's just implying the harmony, doing dyad. So this would be like your G minor. You'd be playing the root, the minor third. So you have this sort of thing. Then there's a single note slide, which would be from the 5 to the minor 7. So you get this. Now, the muting here is quite challenging because if you have these, you'll notice my ring fingers start there. That's what I would recommend. So it's coming from here. C minor triad. So once you can kind of work that out, try to feel those accents. There, you'll do that. Then he adds these single notes, which complicates it a little bit because you're going to just have. Now when I'm doing those, I guess my fingers are kind of placed in a way that I am being pretty accurate, but a lot of times I know I'm kind of hitting that B string. So I guess these fingers still stay pretty close to that fretboard, so if I was just to, I'd still get that single note. Now it takes a bit to work out, but if you have that, again, it's just like speed right out of your G, so you're gonna. So even if you just sort of thing. Same thing here over the F, C. Here, I usually just stay and groove over one chord, and I think that's I've just noticed it in my own students. That's sometimes where they go off. Is they don't want to stay on one chord. They want to try to get it all without getting the foundation of it, which is just. I mean, the idea is to just be content with like living in that for maybe 15-20 minutes, and I do it all the time. Just. When my ears get tired, I'll just. Stay here for a bit. Look at this. So then I would add just there, you'll just do slide back half a step and then up again. Same thing, but it would be a back half a step. And then one time you'll add a D7 there. That's the voicing he kind of likes to use a little bit. This would be 12th fret, 11th fret, so you have your D, your 3rd, your minor 7 here. So you get that, see. That sort of thing there. So the main thing to take is just it's so much about the left hand muting. That's really it, and feeling that groove with the right hand, trying to get those two things to work together. I hope this tips sort of helped. That's how I work it out. That's how I show my students to work, these things out. Always with the metronome. Always keep your foot going. Always know where the one is. After you work out, some of the harmony stuff from the previous videos. This is just. It's so fundamental for understanding rhythm, but also just for playing in a band. You can always tell when somebody's timing goes off. So can't stress that enough. Above lead and everything else, rhythm is really where it's at, and you'll find, you know, once I get into the lead portion of these lessons, John's lead playing is very rhythmic too, so I think, you know, hopefully that sort of helps to give you some ideas of how to work on this stuff. Okay, till next time, rock and roll.